Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So as I did update you earlier on in regards to Bissaka, obviously it's very imminent. He's going to be our second signing this summer, and I do believe it will be fully finalised tomorrow. Obviously the BBC reported earlier on, this was coming from David Ornstein from the BBC. And the BBC, is a very reliable source. They have now basically said, Manchester United have reached an agreement with Crystal Palace to sign Bissaka, and I think, we have agreed around a £50 million deal. I think Manchester United are set to pay around 45 million up front, with 5 million. I think there's 5 million add-ons included. Which does potentially rise it to around £50 million. I think we have offered him a 5-year contract, worth up to around £80,000 a week. So obviously, Bissaka is going to be, he's going to get a huge pay rise in his salary. He's going to get around the £70,000 pay rise. Obviously, he's only on £10,000 a week with Crystal Palace. Obviously, Bissaka is Crystal Palace's lowest paid player in their first team squad and all that. But like I said, I'm very, very excited about this. And like I said, I think he's definitely worth 50 million quid. Is Bissaka. Obviously, we previously had 2 bids turned down for him. Obviously, the last bid we had turned down for him was 50 million. Obviously, we'd offered 35 million up front, with 15 million in add-ons. But obviously, Crystal Palace didn't like the structure of the offer, so they turned it down. And obviously, the first bid we had turned down for him, obviously, was 40 million pounds. But Crystal Palace blatantly made it clear, that they did want around 45 million up front, or 50 million pounds up front and all that. So I think like I said, I think it will be made official, tomorrow. Obviously, he's set to undergo his Manchester United medical and all that. But like I said, we've been negotiating a fee, with Crystal Palace at least for the last 3 weeks. But obviously, we've held more extensive talks with Crystal Palace yesterday, and now obviously, we have come to an agreement on the fee and all that. And I think, like I said, I think his move will be made official, tomorrow and all that. So, like I said, very, very excited about this. Obviously, it reported out last week, but this was nonsense. This was coming from Duncan Castles. He basically said Manchester United had agreed world record fee with Crystal Palace for Bissaka of around 55 million pounds. But obviously, we do know now that was currently nonsense and all that. But Bissaka, is obviously, like I said, going to be our second signing this summer. Obviously, our second signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Obviously, he's going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now wants to develop a squad of young, hungry, homegrown talents and all that. And obviously, he's planning to build an ambitious squad. Obviously, he wants to bring players in who he wants to bring players in who he thinks going to elevate Manchester United forward, and obviously get us back to being a competitive elite level football club. But yeah, like I said, it should be made official tomorrow. Bissaka, he's only 21 years of age. He is predominantly a right back. Obviously, so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. I think he's been a Crystal Palace player, since the age of 11. Obviously, graduated from their youth system. Initially, when he was younger, he was an out-and-out winner, was Bissaka. But obviously, as he was developing, obviously, he got reverted as a fullback, due to his tenacity. He only made his senior debut for Crystal Palace in February of last year, and obviously, last season, he established himself as a first team regular and all. And I think, reflecting on his impressive performances last season, I think he did win Crystal Palace Player of the Year. Obviously, he's got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace, but I do believe, he will improve, defensively and all that. Like I said, I think he'll be a fantastic replacement for Antonio Valencia, because obviously we do know that Valencia is leaving the club. He served a decade at Manchester United. Obviously, he'll be a fantastic upgrade to Ashley Young, and of course, he will be a good cover-up for Diego Dalot. So I'm very, very ecstatic, about Bissaka, currently coming in. But I think his defensive capabilities are very, very good. He's also, Premier League proven, so that's very, very beneficial. And I do believe, he can be our fullback, for the next decade, like I said. And he's also British, and obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. So Bissaka is our second signing this summer. So we've already got Daniel James on the board for £18 million. We've got Bissaka for £50 million. So obviously, that takes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's net spend to £68 million so far on 2 players. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will want to currently currently build on that, and bring at least another 2 or 3 players in. I think now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities, will be to get a central defender in and also, get a midfielder in. But obviously, a lot of reports were reflecting out last week, saying that we've only been given £100 million to spend this summer. And obviously, it did provide a reason why we've been given £100 million, because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But like I said, £100 million is not enough, for us, to address the deficiencies in the squad. I thought initially, we'd been given around £200 million to spend, but £100 million, isn't enough to address the deficiencies in the squad. It's also not enough, for the number of players, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to currently bring in. But like I said, when we do get the deal finalised from Bissaka, and if we have been given £100 million, we've only got around £32 million to spend on a central defender, a couple of new additions in that midfield, a right winger and a striker, and obviously, we're not going to be able to do that, with £32 million. So I think maybe the club, like I said, need to orchestrate now on selling players, before we do currently buy them and all that, to generate funds and help rebuild the squad. But I probably think 3 or 4, maybe 5 players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer. But I think if we do sell Pogba and we do sell Lukaku, and I think it's looking likely, that both them are going to be leaving, I think we can generate at least around £200 million for their departures. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad and all that. Don't forget he's still in the process of rebuilding. Obviously, he wants to buy it. He wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's mystery, like I said. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is planning, to build an ambitious squad. But quite a few people have said, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. Like I said, I think we are moving away from the policy, of signing them and well-established players. Because like I said, it's not always about spending big on players. It's not always about getting them them Galactical players, because it doesn't always guarantee you success. And of course, it doesn't always, get you in that commanding position. But we have spent quite a bit on Bissaka, obviously, as well. He's going to be our 5th most expensive signing, as obviously, that is confirmed. But I think, he will do well at Manchester United. And like I said, we do need that right-hand side addressing. I think I'm sceptical of us, bringing a right winner in, because we definitely, do need a right winner. We've been, there's been quite a few winners on our agenda, but I'm sceptical of us, bringing a right winner in this summer. But I do believe we've got to get the right players in this summer, like I said, because obviously, we need to see vast improvements, going on into this season, because, last season was very disappointing. We finished 6th, we didn't win many silverware last season, but, we haven't won any silverware in the last couple of seasons. But I do believe our expectations going on into this season, probably will be to finish in the top 4. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations, will be at that top 4, because I think, we're at least a couple of years off, from winning the league, or even, challenging for the league and all that. Because obviously at the moment, City has strides ahead of us. Obviously, Liverpool has strides ahead of us, so it's very imperative, that we catch up with likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But Solskjaer did say towards the back end of last season, he still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But like I said, Champions League football is always very pivotal, when you do want to get your number 1 targets. But Solskjaer did basically say last month, he wants the majority of our transfer business, completed by the beginning of next month, before the players, do return for pre-season and all that. But now with obviously, we're going to get Bissaka on the board. I do believe now we will focus on, getting a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. Now, potentially we do know Bruno Fernandes as being one of our main priority targets. Obviously, reports have been coming out, saying that Manchester United have met up, with Bruno Fernandes' agent in London, obviously, to get a deal secured for Bruno Fernandes. So obviously we've held more extensive talks with his agent. Obviously, it got reported out last week, we'd met up with Bruno Fernandes' agent over discussing, Bruno Fernandes' potential switch to Old Trafford this summer. It also confirmed last week, that Tottenham had stepped up their interest in Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, it did say Tottenham had been in negotiations with his agent and all that, because obviously, Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer, because obviously, Tottenham haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player they signed was Lucas Moura, back in January 2018, and obviously, Mauricio Pochettino is going to want back in this summer. So these quite a few players on Tottenham's agenda. Obviously, Christian Eriksen is linked to move to Real Madrid and all that, and if Christian Eriksen goes, obviously, Tottenham are going to want to replace him for him. And obviously, I think Tottenham are also in for Tanguy Ndombele. I think, they're also in, for Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. So they have got quite a few players on their agenda. But he did say last week, they had stepped up their interest in Bruno Fernandes. But initially, it came out from the Liverpool Echo yesterday, and it did, basically say, now that Liverpool are the heavy favourites to sign Bruno Fernandes, because, obviously we do know that Liverpool are in for him. Obviously, it got reported out last week, saying that Liverpool had put a bid in for him of around 45 million euros. Obviously, this equates to around 40 million in pound sterling and all that. But obviously, this isn't going to be enough, for Sporting Lisbon, to currently offload him. I think Liverpool were also set to meet with his agent in London, to hold further more talks. But yeah, Sporting Lisbon have basically said, they want around £70 million to him. But recent reports have said, we're not willing to, pay up to £70 million for Bruno Fernandes. It did say, we value him at around £49 million. But at least in the last couple of weeks, should I say, a bowl of the Portuguese press, they've reported, saying that, we are considered as the favourites, to get the player's signature and all that. But, like I said, Liverpool come out yesterday, and, they basically said, that Liverpool are the heavy favourites, to currently signing. I think if he did go to Liverpool, I think he would fit Liverpool's system perfectly well. Obviously, Liverpool and that, could offer him Champions League football. Obviously, Manchester United can't. But I think, us getting Bruno Fernandes, would be fantastic. He would rejuvenate the team. He would bring us them goals that we do need in that midfield and all that. And I think he would be a fantastic, adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Bruno Fernandes, of course, has been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. Obviously, he scored 31 goals last season and all that. Don't get him on, he hasn't really played to the highest level as yet, Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, he spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger, the likes of Sampdoria and Udinese and all that. But recently, Bruno Fernandes came out and said, he's attracted to the history and mystique of Manchester United. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has also urged Ed Woodward, to speed up a deal, to sign Bruno Fernandes. But, we basically informed Bruno Fernandes' representatives that we do need a bit more time and all that, because obviously, we've been focusing on getting the deal over the line from Bissaka. But now it's looking like we've got the deal over the line from Bissaka. Now we are going to step up our interest in Bruno Fernandes. So he is primarily an attacking midfielder. He is only 24 years of age. He is under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. His initial release clause is around £86 million. But we do know it's been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. Obviously, it was looking likely at one point that Manchester City were going to get a deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, as it got confirmed, was it a week or two back now, that City had withdrawn their interest. They have now pulled out of the race, and since Manchester City have pulled out of the race, obviously Liverpool have entered the race, and of course Tottenham have entered the race. So he has been subject to a lot of transfer speculations, Bruno Fernandes. But him coming to the Premier League, it's going to rejuvenate his career, and of course it's going to take his footballing career to the next level. But I do believe he should be our third signing this summer, and I do believe he will be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say he wants the Bruno Fernandes deal secured at the earliest opportunity. But he did basically say Solskjaer demands Bruno Fernandes' arrival by July the 1st. So maybe we could get the Bruno Fernandes deal secured sometime this week. But obviously, as it's confirmed, we've held more talks with his agent in London. So hopefully now he's going to be our third signing this summer. But yeah, like I said, there's been quite a few midfielders on our current agenda. Like I said, there's been talks with James Maddison. I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans, would like to see James Maddison, come in, because obviously James Maddison is a very, very good player and all that. I think it came out, was it earlier on this week or was it last week, saying that James Maddison had allegedly, asked to meet with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he did say allegedly, he's interested in a move to Manchester United this summer. It came out about this was it 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying that we emerged James Maddison as a priority target and all that. It did say we'd made initial contact, and it did say if Leicester are willing to sell him this summer, they would want in the region of around £60 million. But like I said, probably Manchester United would be more than happier to currently pay that. He is primarily an attacking midfielder. He is only 22 years of age. He's had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Last season was his debut season in the Premier League with Leicester. Last season he was involved in 14 goals. I think he made about 36 appearances in the Premier League last season. Also created more chances than any other player did James Maddison in the Premier League. So his stats are very, very impressive. Obviously, quite a few teams have been tracking him, since he was a teenager at Coventry, because that's obviously where he began his career at Coventry, where James Maddison. Leicester did get him last summer, from Norwich for £20 million. He obviously signed a 5-year deal with Leicester. Obviously, he's got 4 years left on his current deal, but he did have a good couple of seasons in the Championship, you know, where with Norwich. I think he also had a loan spell in Scotland with Aberdeen. So yeah, I would like James Maddison to come in because I think, you know, he would be a fantastic replacement for Paul Pogba. Obviously, as well, obviously Yari Tillemans from Leicester, you know, I think he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. You know, Yari Tillemans now. Obviously, it came out a couple of weeks ago about him. I think it was now, you know, saying that, you know, we had rekindled our interest in Yari Tillemans, and he did say, you know, we had been in talks with his agent over getting you know, a possible deal concluded and all that. And then initially said the other week, you know, that we'd opted out of the race for Yari Tillemans. He's only 22 years of age. I think he's primarily a box-to-box midfielder. Obviously, Yari Tillemans has had about, you know, 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously, you know, he had been on loan with Leicester, you know, since January. Obviously, you know, he has now returned to Monaco, but I think Yari Tillemans has confirmed, you know, he will basically, you know, not be you know, playing his trade there with Monaco next season. He won't be staying there with Monaco. But yeah, Manchester United have been in there for him. I think also, you know, Leicester have been in talks getting him on a permanent deal, because I think, you know, actually, you know, Leicester, you know, are planning, you know, to link up, you know, Yari Tillemans with James Maddison in their midfield, because probably Leicester, you know, do believe, you know, that, you know, they would complement each other well, you know, they blend in together, you know, really, really well with Yari Tillemans and James Maddison in their midfield. So Leicester are keen on getting him on a permanent deal. Like I said, also Tottenham have been in for him, Manchester City have been in for him. I think also, you know, Arsenal were in for him at one point. Monaco did get him back in 2017 for Anderlecht. I think Monaco paid around £21 million to him. Obviously, he is under contract with Monaco till 2022, but he is available for these both again. Like I said, you know, some people said, you know, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, and you know, Monaco, you know, do rate him at around £40 million. So obviously, you know, we have been in for Yari Tillemans. So there has been quite a few midfielders on our current agenda. But like I said, it's looking like, you know, that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving the club, because he's been relentlessly, you know, linked to move away from Manchester United. Like I said, I think there's been a change of scenery now. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, does want to sell Paul Pogba. The main factor is why he wants to sell him is obviously, you know, to help the club raise funds and, you know, rebuild the squad and all that. Obviously, you know, we've indicated that he's not for sale. You know, I think we're willing to accept a bid in the region of around £150 million. Obviously, it was initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plan, you know, to actually, you know, build a side around Paul Pogba. But we do know he confirmed a week or two back, was it now? You know, he told Tokyo reporters, you know, that he's seeking for a new challenge. You know, he publicly admitted this, you know, that he wants to leave Manchester United this summer. And he even did say, you know, he was willing to go on strike, you know, to force a move away from Manchester United. Obviously, we do know it's Real Madrid and Juventus that are battling out for his services. I think for quite some time now, his first choice preference has been Real Madrid, and obviously, you know, his likely destination, of course, has been Real Madrid. But now there has been a change in the scenery. I think Paul Pogba now has made a decision on his future, according to recent reports, and they said now, you know, he would prefer a move back to Turin, because obviously, you know, he did have 4 good years in Turin, you know, with Juventus, and obviously, you know, the Juventus director was speaking, you know, about, you know, he was explaining of how much, you know, Juventus, you know, love Paul Pogba, because like I said, you know, he had 4 good years there with them, but, you know, he hasn't really replicated this form, you know, since he did make the move to Manchester United. Well, since he made the return back to Manchester United. Obviously, we paid £89 million to him, obviously our most expensive signing and all that, but he hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. But probably more than likely, you know, Juventus probably would have to offload at least 1 or 2 of their essential players to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because, you know, I don't think Juventus, you know, would be able to afford him, because we have put a huge transfer fee on Paul Pogba, and obviously Juventus have got a budget, you know, they're doing good business so far in this window. Obviously, it's looking like they're going to get Matty Stellit from Ajax, it's looking like they're going to get Adrian Rabiot from PSG. They've already got Aaron Ramsey on the board. Obviously, you know, they got Ronaldo last summer. So Juventus are doing a really, really good business in this window. But obviously, you know, Juventus are interested in me signing Paul Pogba. Obviously, it confirmed a couple of weeks ago that the Juventus director travelled to London, you know, to hold negotiation with Manchester United of the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba. Obviously, as well, Juventus have been in negotiations with his agent Raiola and all that. But we do know Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, at least in the last couple of months, has been working on, you know, finding Paul Pogba a new club and all that. But like I said, he may be open to making a return back to Juventus. But like I said, I think Paul Pogba is one of Zinedine Zidane's main priority targets. But like I said, Real Madrid are not keen on straight cash payment, because obviously they're not willing to pay up to 150 million pounds to him. Obviously, so far Real Madrid have signed 5 players this summer. I think they have spent nearly 300 million pounds. Obviously, they paid 150 million pounds for Eden Hazard, so that's half of it. That's half of £300 million there. But they have done good business so far in this this summer window of Real Madrid. But I think also Christian Eriksen is on their agenda as well as Paul Pogba. So basically, Christian Eriksen probably would be a cheaper solution for Real Madrid, than Paul Pogba, because we basically said want around 150 million pounds. Obviously, got confirmed the other week, a couple of weeks ago was it now, saying that Real Madrid were willing to offer Gareth Bale in the transfer offer for Paul Pogba. Obviously, it did come out a couple of weeks ago, saying that, we was actually, interested, in getting Gareth Bale on loan. He said we inquired about, getting him on loan, and he did say, we was willing to pay his wages. It also said, we was willing to pay him a loan fee and all that, for Gareth Bale. But obviously, we're not keen on getting him on a permanent deal. Obviously, Gareth Bale is one of the players, that Real Madrid, of course, want to get rid of. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane, did confirm towards the back end of last season. Obviously, he confirmed that Zinedine Zidane, he confirmed, Zinedine Zidane that, Gareth Bale is no longer in his plans. Obviously, confirmed that Gareth Bale, has no future at Real Madrid and all that. But we do know Gareth Bale has been subjected to quite a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, we do know he's been relentlessly linked to a move to Old Trafford since 2013, and obviously, the rumours have continued to persist since then and all that. But like I said, I wouldn't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. We inquired about getting him on loan a couple of weeks ago. He did say we was keen on getting him on a long-season loan, potentially 2 seasons, because he did say there was an option to extend by a further year and all that. But either way, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. If you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I probably would have took Bale. We definitely need a winner. Obviously, Bale can play on the left. Obviously, Bale can play on the right and all that. But I think there's much better solutions there than Gareth Bale. Who could come in. Like I said, Nicolas Pepe is a better solution than him. Also, Jadon Sancho is a better solution than him and all that, because Gareth Bale has been inconsistent in the last couple of seasons, even, and he's injury prone as well. He's also aging up. He's 29, I think he's 30 next month. But to say that Gareth Bale is injury prone, his ratio is still very, very good. He scored 102 goals in 31 games for Real Madrid. He's obviously been there 6 years, and I think he has provided them about 64 assists. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Real Madrid. But obviously, Real Madrid wants to get rid of him permanently. I think Real Madrid are looking to recoup the majority of the money that they did pay for him, back in 2013 from Tottenham, because obviously Real Madrid paid around 85 million. Come out the other week saying that Real Madrid want around 75 million pounds for him. But obviously Real Madrid are going to find it very, very difficult, to offload Gareth Bale permanently, based on his substantial wages and all that. So I do not want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. But like I said, if Paul Pogba does go to Real Madrid, there's still a possibility, that Gareth Bale, could be a part of the deal and all that. But there's much better solutions than Gareth Bale. But like I said, Paul Pogba has still got 2 years left on his contract with Manchester United. There's also an option, to extend it by a further year. A lot of reports were coming out last week, saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a new long-term contract, worth up to around £500,000 a week. Obviously, like I said, in his current deal, he's on about £290,000 a week. Obviously, came out quite a few weeks back saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer him the captaincy in a bid, to convince him to remain at the football club and all that. But yeah, I do believe he's currently going to be going. And like I said, maybe the couple of main factor reasons why Paul Pogba wants to leave the club, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players. Maybe he wants to be in Champions League football. Maybe wants to be playing amongst better players, like I said. He wants to be challenging and winning silverware. And of course, he's not experiencing this Manchester United. He is only 26 years of age. He's Paul Pogba, so he's in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him and all that. But like I said, I do believe he's currently going to be going. Paul Pogba was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. There was talks about him going to Juventus last year. There was also talks about him going to Barcelona back in January and all that. But Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho, of course, left the club, because obviously Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. But let's be honest, Paul Pogba hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. So if we do offload him, it will help us with our transition, and of course, course, it will help us with our rebuilding process and all that. So I think, we do need to get rid of him. Like I said, I think we need to get a right winner in, but I think, I'm very sceptical of Manchester United, bringing in a winner in. Like I said, I've been updating you quite recently about Nicolas Pepe from Lille. He would be the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United, because obviously Nicolas Pepe is primarily a winner. He has been subject to a hell of a lot of transfer speculations, Nicolas Pepe, because obviously so many teams have inquired about his services. We do know it's imminent that Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Lille. We do know that's going to currently going to be happening, but it still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. Like I did say with Nicolas Pepe, I think if he does come to the Premier League, it will be the next step for him, and of course, he will rejuvenate his career, and he will take his footballing career to the next level. But the Lille chairman had confirmed, was it about 5-6 weeks ago, he'd made the admission, basically saying that Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Lille this summer. I think Lille, rate Nicolas Pepe at around £70 million and all that. But recent reports have said that Inter Milan are in for him. They've basically stepped up their interest. Reportedly, Inter Milan have already offered around £54 million for him. Obviously, this isn't going to be enough, to convince Lille to sanction him off. But I think now he did say Inter Milan are planning, to allegedly put a bid in for him of around £80 million. He also said that Atletico Madrid have been in for him. I think also Arsenal have been linked to him, since January. Obviously, Manchester United are in there for him. Liverpool, of course, are in there for him. Also, Bayern Munich have been in for him. Obviously, Bayern Munich are looking for the replacement for Arjen Robben and Frank Ribery and all that. Obviously, PSG have been in for him. I think it did allegedly say from Nicolas Pepe's perspective, preference, he wants to make the move to PSG and all that. Obviously, PSG would see him as a replacement for Neymar, because obviously, Neymar is linked to move to Barcelona, so he could be making the return back to Barcelona, because that's obviously Neymar's former club and all that. But I like Nicolas Pepe a lot. So far he has spent the entirety of his career in France. He has been at Lille a couple of seasons. I think he scored 37 goals in 79 appearances in all competitions, and he's been there a couple of seasons. Like I said, he's got 3 years left on his contract with Lille. But he was the revelation for Lille last season. I think he scored 22 goals and provided 11 assists. But he's only 24 years of age. He has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. But I think he can score goals. He can provide. He's got immense talent. He's really, really good at creating chances. He's really good on and off the ball. So he's the type of player that Manchester United do need. And I would be very excited about the prospect of linking Nicolas Pepe up with the likes of Martial and Rashford and all that. So he would dramatically improve us. It did, Duncan Castles, reported on this about 5 or 6 weeks ago. He gave us an update about Nicolas Pepe, and he did say Manchester United had made initial contact, with Lille over the possibility of signing Nicolas Pepe. It also said that Liverpool had made contact. It said, Liverpool had been in negotiations with his agent and all that. But I do like Nicolas Pepe a lot, but it remains uncertain at the moment where he will be applying his trade next season. Obviously, as I've been updating you regularly as well, in regards to Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, he's been another winner, that Manchester United, should I say, had been in for. But obviously, as it got confirmed a couple of days ago, this was actually coming from Forbes, and then obviously, it spread to other media outlets, saying that we could rekindle our interest in Jadon Sancho on one condition, and that's if of course, Paul Pogba leaves, which is expected to happen. So potentially, I think the club are orchestrating on, generating the funds from Paul Pogba's departure and then putting them funds on Jadon Sancho. But like I said, I don't see Jadon Sancho, coming out to Manchester United this summer. Obviously, like I said, we'd thought, our hopes of bringing Jadon Sancho, would obviously, come to an end, because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season and all that. But I think Jadon Sancho's confirmed he's set to remain loyal to Borussia Dortmund at least for another season. Obviously, I don't think he'll be planning to obviously he won't be intending on spending the rest of his playing career of Borussia Dortmund, because obviously at some point he'll want to rejuvenate his career, take his footballing career to the next level. But I do believe that Jadon Sancho wants to remain loyal at least for one more season with Borussia Dortmund. And I think also Borussia Dortmund have confirmed, that he's still in their plans. But we do know for a very long time, that Jadon Sancho, was our number one priority target. We do know he was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority target, back in January and all that. And Borussia Dortmund said, they wanted around £100 million. Obviously, that's what the value of Jadon Sancho at. And he did say, he was willing to pay that £100 million valuation. situation. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, what like to prospect, you know, of linking Jadon Sancho up, you know, the likes of Martial and Rashford and all that. But Jadon Sancho is a very, very good player. You know, he's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of seasons. You know, he's exceeded expectation levels and all that. But like I said, I think if he was to make a return back to the Premier League, I think you know it would obviously rejuvenate his career. It would help him with his developing process. I think you know it would create him a better platform for him and all that. Obviously, he has played in the Premier League. Obviously, you know he's had experience of playing in Manchester. Obviously, you know he did before he was at Dortmund. He had a couple of years with Manchester City in their youth academy. Obviously, I've never got him into their first team because obviously, you know he was never guaranteed a first team footballer with Manchester City, and this is actually the main factor reason why I left City, and of course I made the move to Borussia Dortmund. I think Borussia Dortmund, you know, paid him around £8 million for his services. And I think he's under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. But Borussia Dortmund do know how much of an essential player he is. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund have lost quite a few of their key players in recent years. Of course, obviously, you know, they lost Aubameyang £59 million to Arsenal. Obviously, you know, they sold Ousmane Dembele for over £100 million to Barcelona. You know, a couple of years ago. Obviously, they sold Christian Pulisic for around £47 million to Chelsea and all that. So they have lost key players in recent years, so obviously you know they're desperate of keeping hold of Jadon Sancho. But like I said, I think the main factor reason why we've missed out on him this summer because obviously you know we're not in Champions League football for next season. So like I said, you know there has been quite a few winners on our current agenda. But like I have been updating you on a regular basis in regards to Romelu Lukaku, like I currently said now, obviously he's been relentlessly linked to move to Inter Milan, and I do believe that Romelu Lukaku does need to leave Manchester United because obviously he's one of the problematic players. Obviously as I did confirm that obviously Lukaku's agent, Lukaku's agent, it got confirmed has been in Milan to hold negotiations with Inter Milan. And I think Lukaku's agent is working on, getting Lukaku's move to Inter Milan, currently completed, because Lukaku's agent has confirmed that Lukaku does want to leave Manchester United, and that he does, of course, want to make the move to Inter Milan. So Lukaku's agent has confirmed that Inter Milan, are still trying to sign Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, I think the fee is problematic for Inter Milan because obviously, I think Inter Milan are struggling to generate enough funds, to fund the move for Lukaku, because obviously, we want around £75 million. Obviously, so basically, we're looking to recoup the money, that we basically, paid for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because obviously we paid £75 million for him. Initially, risen up to £90 million, with 15 million in add-ons. Obviously, Lukaku's got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on around £250,000 a week and all that. But I think Lukaku has agreed everything, with Inter Milan, except the fee. Obviously, Inter Milan have been negotiating with us over coming to an agreement on a fee and all that. But I think he's agreed the personal terms. I think he allegedly said he's agreed a 5-year deal and all that. And I think he's agreed a deal with around £180,000 a week. But obviously, no fee as yet, come to an agreement. Obviously, we do know that Lukaku, recently said, he's described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. Obviously, Lukaku is eager on, Lukaku is eager, of playing under Antonio Conte's guidance and all that, because he probably thinks he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. And obviously, Antonio Conte has identified him as his number one target. Reflecting back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte, wanted Romelu Lukaku, when he was manager of Chelsea. But obviously, Lukaku, ended up making the move to Manchester United. But obviously, Lukaku's been here 2 years. He has scored 42 goals in 96 appearances in all competitions. Lukaku was exceptional in his first season, but obviously, didn't really replicate that in his second season, of course, because obviously, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in, Lukaku has found himself certainly served to requirements, and obviously we do know that Rashford has been first choice ahead of him, and obviously Lukaku is reluctant to play a backup role to Marcus Rashford and all that. But I think I've got strong reservations about him. Like I said, obviously his ratio is still very good in the Premier League. His pedigree, and that's very, very good because he has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. But we want £75 million. Obviously Lukaku's 26. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him and all that. But it's very essential that we do get a replacement in for him. But yeah, he's been heavily linked with move to Inter Milan. Obviously, as it did get reported out yesterday, I think it was. Well, Inter Milan have initially offered us Mario Cardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku. But like I said, I think this could be beneficial for Manchester United. And at one point, wasn't interested in bringing Mario Cardi in, but I was reading the sports review the other day, and they did basically say, we are considering signing Mario Cardi as part of a swap deal, which would see Romelu Lukaku make a move to Inter Milan. And I do like Mario Icardi a lot. I've watched of him. His goal scoring pedigree is very, very good. He's been at Inter Milan 6 years and he's scored 111 goals in 188 games. So that's very, very impressive indeed. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. Icardi is 26 years of age. He enjoyed a difficult time last season with Inter Milan because obviously, Inter Milan have increasingly become frustrated with him. Obviously, Inter Milan, do want to offload him, and I think he also lost the captaincy, back in February. He is Inter Milan's ninth highest. I think he's Inter Milan's ninth highest goal scorer of all time and all that. But I think if he came to Manchester United, I think he would exceed expectation levels. He would lead the lines. He would bring us them goals that we do currently need. Don't get me wrong, I've got some reservations about Mario Icardi. Some of his touches concern me. Some of his, when it comes to his defensive contribution, that does currently concern me. But I think I'd love to see Mario Icardi come in. I don't know what Mario Icardi wants to do. Does he want to go to Juventus? Does he want to stay at Inter Milan? I'm not too sure. It also said Lukaku, Inter Milan had offered us Mario Icardi in exchange for Ivan Perisic in exchange for Romelu Lukaku. Plus they offered us as cash. But obviously, Manchester United turned this down because obviously, Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. It was a long-term target under Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. But hopefully, we can sanction Romelu Lukaku off, But who, could replace Romelu Lukaku? Like I said, we've been in for Mario Icardi. I think he'd be a good adequate replacement. Obviously, there's been talks about Paulo Dybala from Juventus. And I like Paulo Dybala. I've got some reservations about him again. He has been at Juventus, 4 years. And I think Manchester United have been in for him for quite some time. Obviously, Paulo Dybala enjoyed a difficult season last season because obviously, since the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo at Juventus, obviously, Paulo Dybala has found game time difficult. So he enjoyed a difficult season last season. But I think Paul Dybala's agent and brother, came out before, saying that, Paul Dybala, could leave Juventus this summer and all that. But like I said, he has been at Juventus 4 years. I think he's won about, 3 or 4 Serie A's, won about 2 or 3 Coppa Italians. But he has demonstrated in his 4-year period at Juventus that he can score goals, that he can lead the lines. But if he was to come to Manchester United and get us them goals that we do need, whilst he was adapting them other areas of his game, that would be currently good enough and all that. But it came out a while back saying, we was in negotiations, with Juventus over around an £85 million deal for him and all that. So I still believe he is on Manchester United's agenda. Obviously, a lot of reports have been coming out quite recently in regards to Ben Yedder from Seville. Now, it does say Manchester United are interested in him. I think, we're only willing to go in for Ben Yedder if Lukaku, does currently leave the club. He obviously plays for Sevilla. I think he's been at Sevilla about 3 years as Ben Yedder. He's under contract with Sevilla until 2021. But I think his goal scoring pedigree is supposed to be very, very good. Ben Yedder last season scored 30 goals, provided 11 assists in 54 games last season for Sevilla and all that. Reportedly, I think his release clause is around 35.9 million. It did say Manchester United are willing to currently trigger that, so he is available for a reasonable figure. He is 28 years of age, so he is highly experienced and all that. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League as yet, but Ben Yedder has still got quite a bit of a development in him. I think Sevilla, did get him from Toulouse back in 2016. I think they paid around £9 million for him. He is French. Obviously, he made his full international debut last year and all that, for France. But I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. Reportedly, he has been on Manchester United's agenda and all that. But I do believe, probably around 3 or 4 players are going to leave Manchester United. Someone like I said, we know Valencia is leaving. We know Ander Herrera is currently leaving. I do believe Darmian and Rojo are going to be, currently leaving. And I do believe, we can generate around 25 or £30 million, for Darmian and Rojo's departures. With Sanchez, like I said, I'm actually a bit sceptical now with Sanchez, leaving, to be quite honest, because I think Manchester United are struggling, to currently sanction him off, and I think it's going to be hard for us to get rid of him, especially permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages and all that. So I think it's going to be hard for us to offload him, fully, because Sanchez wages are having a really bad effect on the club. Obviously, he's on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses and all that. And and I think the only way we can get rid of Sanchez is probably putting him out on a long season loan, and obviously Manchester United coming to some kind of agreement of paying him half of his wages off him and all that. But Sanchez has been so inconsistent. He hasn't lived up to expectation levels at Manchester United, and he hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. And he is 30 now. He has lost that yard of pace. So looking at it, frankly, Sanchez does not have a future at the club. But Sanchez did have 4 good years at Arsenal. He even played under Pep Guardiola's guidance when he was younger at Barcelona. He did flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance, but he has not replicated this at Manchester United, and he has become injury prone, since he has come to Manchester United. So obviously, he's been at Manchester United, since January 2018. But I think it's very imperative, that we do currently offload Alexis Sanchez. We do know now De Gea is staying. Obviously, we do know now that Juan Mata is currently staying at the club. We do know now that Juan Mata, of course, is staying at the club, because obviously we've got him a 2-year deal with an option to extend by further years. So we know he's staying there, like I said. I do believe, Smalling Jones, shouldn't be here next season, but we do know that Smalling Jones probably are going to be here next season. Obviously, Smalling Jones have been 2 long-serving players at the club. Obviously, Smalling's been here 9 years, Phil Jones has been here 8 years and all that, and it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them 2 new long-term contracts. But I definitely believe that we need a central defender, someone that can complement Victor Lindelof in our back line, because I was very impressed there with Victor Lindelof last season. I think he really stepped up to the plate in his second season with Manchester United. His distribution were good. He was showing that ability, that he can play out from the back and all that. He did really, really well. Didn't really do well in his first season, because he didn't, he didn't really settle in his first season. But he did really, really well in his second season. So basically, we just need to get someone in who can partner him alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. Obviously, there's been a lot of central defenders on our current agenda, because obviously, we have got issues defensively. Obviously, that was proven last season, because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League, last season in 38 Premier League games. Like I said, that's our highest total in 40 years. So we have got issues defensively. There has been a lot of talks, as you all know, going on about Harry Maguire from Leicester and all that, and obviously, he's been one of our priority targets. But obviously, reports have come out this week, saying that Manchester City are set to sign Harry Maguire, and it did say, they're set to sign him for a world record fee of £80 million. Obviously, this would make Harry Maguire the most expensive, defender in world football, ahead of Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk and all that. And it did say Manchester City, were willing to pay him around £280,000 a week and all that. And I think from Harry Maguire's preference, he does want to make the move to Manchester City. It has been Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. I think negotiations have hit a stumbling block, between Manchester City and Leicester and all that, because I think it's still saying that Manchester City are reluctant, to pay up to £80 million for his services. I think the most City are willing to pay is around £65 million. It didn't literally say City, rate Harry Maguire at around £50 million. But looking at it, ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell Harry Maguire, and this is the main factor reason, why they are demanding an extortionate amount, and this is why, they have priced him out of the transfer market. So Leicester, do want them around £80 million. Of course, if Harry Maguire does go to Manchester City, he will rejuvenate his career, he will take his footballing career to the next level, and he's probably keen on playing under Pep Guardiola's guidance and all that, because he probably believes he'll flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance. But obviously, if he goes to City, he'll be playing alongside John Stones, he'll be playing alongside, Laporte and all that. I think City will consider probably offloading Otamendi, if they do get a deal finalised for Harry Maguire. And obviously, City are seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany and all that. But I think the fee is problematic, for Manchester City. But we do know Manchester United have been in there for him. It did say the other week, we was confident, we could beat Manchester City to the sign of Harry Maguire, and we was confident that we could outbid Manchester City for his services, because obviously, City are not willing to pay up to £80 million for him. Obviously, it said the other week, we was willing to pay £80 million for Harry Maguire. Obviously, Eddie Woodward was keen on recommending him, but like I said, Harry Maguire is not worth 80 or 90 million pounds, because he's not a Van Dijk from Liverpool. He's not a Koulibaly from Napoli, he's not a Rafael Varane from Real Madrid out, but he's still a very good central defender, like I said, he's proven in the Premier League. He has been at Leicester, a couple of seasons, and I think he's made 76 appearances for them in all competitions. Obviously, 69 of them have come in the Premier League. He's been, like I said, he signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023 and all that. And he's 26, so he has still got a lot of development in him. He had a couple of seasons with Hull before. I think he also had a loan spell with Wigan, and he actually began his career with Sheffield United as a youngster, and I think graduated from their youth system and went to make around them 100. I think he played about 166 professional games for Sheffield United, but I do believe he would complement Victor Lindelof in our backline, really, really well. Like I said, Harry Maguire's defensive ability is very, very good. He does show that ability, to play out from the back. But our priority, last summer was to recommend a centre back to come in, but obviously we didn't get his number one targets last summer because the board, weren't back in the signs that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in, and obviously Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted last summer. But Leicester said I think they wanted around £75 million from him last summer, so that's been one central defender on our agenda. Obviously, there has been a lot of talks about Issa Diop, going on from West Ham. Issa Diop now. It does say Manchester United have been in for him. It does say we've been in for him at least in the last couple of weeks, and it did say Issa Diop was keen on making a move to Manchester United and all that. West Ham don't want to sell him again. This is why he had the price of him out of the transfer market. It does say West Ham do want at least around £60 million. Don't get me wrong. Issa Diop will be a cheaper solution than Harry Maguire. He will be a cheaper solution than Koulibaly from Napoli and all that. He will be a cheaper solution, but I just don't think he's worth £60 million. Issa Diop. Obviously, Issa Diop has had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Last season was his debut season for West Ham in the Premier League. I think he played around 33 games last season. In the Premier League, I think he played about 37 or 38 games in all competitions and all that. West Ham did get him last summer from Toulouse for around £22 million. He did sign a 5-year contract. I think West Ham, obviously, he's got 4 years remaining now on his contract. He is only 22 years of age. I think he's about 6'4", so he is tall. So I do presume he's very good in the air. He is a good athlete and all that. And he has got a hell of a lot of development in him. It did come out, was it the other week, saying that we'd had a £40 million bid turned down for him, or was it a £45 million bid turned down for him? It also said we'd offered Phil Jones as part of a deal for Issa Diop, but obviously West Ham had turned this down. It did say if West Ham are willing to do any business, it did say they wanted Anthony Martial in exchange and that, but obviously we're not willing to go along with this, like I said, because we do know how much of an imperative player there that Anthony Martial is. But I still believe we are in there for Issa Diop because we have emerged him as a natural priority target and all that. So yeah, there's been so many central defenders on our agenda, like I said. But yes, so many players on our agenda because, like I said, we do need a massive overhaul this summer. But like I said, I hope it works out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because, like I said, has he got the stature, to get us in that commanding position, where we do want to be? Like I said, he hasn't really got the experience of managing, not to the highest level, especially, and that's something that does concern me. But like I said, we should give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least a year or two, to see how it currently works out and all that. But I just don't want us to sack him because, like I said, I love him, and of course we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers because we've already sacked 3 managers since Alex Ferguson retired. But like I said, anyway, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, like I said, and the main factor reason why we've been a toxic club because we've been mismanaged. Obviously, we've been underachieving and all that. But like I said, we just want to be back, to be in a competitive elite level football club. Not regardless of who our manager is, no one is ever going to follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. We're never going to achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd years of success, and obviously, that's something that we have currently got to accept and all that. But I do believe we're at least a couple of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge up. So there's lots to address in the squad because, like I said, the only player that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's at the moment is Daniel James. Obviously, Bissaka is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's player, but apart from that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. Jose Mourinho just spent under £400 million. Obviously, there's players even the Louis van Gaal era he's inheriting. Of course, there's Matter from the David Moyes era. Initially, Fellaini was here, but he left back in in January, and there's still 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era, so don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inheriting all of them. But Solskjaer, I hope it works out for him. He does know the club inside out and all that. He even managed the Manchester United reserve team for a couple of years, so he did watch some of this team, at this day and age, grow and develop and all that. But like I said, the good news is, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, should be fully finalised there. Now it's past 12 sometime today. He will be officially a Manchester United player. Set to undergo his medical, like I said. £50 million we're getting him for. We're paying £45 million up front, with 5 million in add-ons and all that. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Willing to offer him a long-term contract, worth up to around £80,000 a week. So, I am really ecstatic about this. And I do believe he can take Manchester United forward. His defensive capabilities are very, very good. And, the good thing about this is, we won't be exploited nowhere near as much as we was last season. Because obviously, Ashley Young, was our first choice right back last season. But Ashley Young's one of the problematic players at the club. He's been a long-serving player. He's been here 8 years and all that. But yeah, really looking forward, to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, coming in. When it is made official in the morning, I will be back on this channel and all that, as we always, currently are. So yeah, that's mainly everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes on the channel, guys. If you do consider a subscriber, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.